Hey, sweet bakers, it's Shonda, and I hope all is well with you today. I would like to come by and just do a quick tutorial for my baker's calculator. Initially, I called it the cake calculator. However, I recognize that many of us bake more than just cakes. So I wanted to come on today too and tell you how the procrastination bug has already tried to get me today. I procrastinated for about an hour before starting this video, and but the devil is a liar. So I wanted to start with a quick introduction, and then I'll be entering um, the ingredients and supplies for red velvet cake before I head off to my appointment, since I've spent a lot of time trying to get this together. Anywho, let's start today. And so I wanted to show you guys how we have these here. We have these tabs. So there's a retail tab here, there's a wholesale tab, and then there's dessert tabs that go from, well, let me see, retail, wholesale, and then there's a dessert tab, and there's one, dessert number 2, dessert number 3, dessert number 4, and on up to 10. So when you start in here with the retail, as you can see, I have here, it says $500. So I'm going to start with that before doing anything. So that'll tell us what we would need to do to make $500 a month. So let's get started with the red velvet cake. And I have my notes here on my phone, so I'll make sure to put the correct prices on here. So I'm going to start with that. Let me find the red velvet. Alrighty, let's start with that. And you see I kind of already put some of the things on here as I did the flour, sugar, oil, cocoa, eggs, baking soda, buttermilk, vinegar, red food color, and vanilla extract. So I'll add the prices onto here, and then we can go from there. Let's start out with the sugar, flour, and we're just going to enter $20 here. The sugar is going to be $20 for that. Get here to the oil. It's about, oil's about $15. Oh, 15. Cocoa. Oh, let me change this. Oil is a little higher than that. It's actually $25. Cocoa, it's about $15. And eggs, I'm gonna put $25. Baking soda, $10. And buttermilk, $10. Vinegar, $5. Red food color, $10. A lot of these things I get at bulk stores, so like a red, like a Smart and Final, or I don't know if Costco sells them like that, but I know that Smart and Final does. There's maybe Sam's Club does. So I do a lot at U.S. Chef stores, so they sell them. Different prices, and even different prices depending on the actual area. I found that some things are a little more expensive the further out that I may go. Some of those things can be a little more expensive. So then we'll do $20 for the vanilla extract. And as you see, every time you enter your amounts, that it changes the total for you. So then we have the boxes, 100 count boxes were $150. 100 count of labels here, $40. Might want to be fancy and put a couple of red bowls on there. So 100 of those will cost me $50. And then a little sample box, as you want to give out samples as you're letting people taste what they're going to be purchasing. Then you would put that here. So I did get some sample boxes. It cost me about $40. And so you see here now we're at a total of $280 on that. But then we also have to think about labor. And if you think about the labor, how many hours it'll take you to make those certain cakes. So for this, we'll just say maybe about, let's say 40 hours. And if you're going to pay someone, or you would pay somebody maybe somewhere between at least $10 to $15, maybe $20, depending on your area and how much you're selling them for. But for just here for the calculator, we're going to pay someone $15 to assist with what we're doing. So for those 40 hours that they would work for you at $15, they would get paid $600 for that. Down here we have profit margin, and I have it here at 35%. You can put it at 50%. As you change it, then everything will change with the calculator as well, because as you enter, it will change. So then I'm going to scroll up here to the top, and I'm not going to put anything on here as far as a retail markup, only because of the fact that we did put the 35%. So you will end up getting your profit on top of this. But let's say we want to make about 30 cakes. And so if you put that on there, it's telling you that for 30 cakes, each one will be about $46.80, about $47. And if you want to, you can, add more or less on that. The more you add, the lesser that they'll probably be. So I can put in here 40, and then they'll be $35.10. So somewhere around in there. So let's just kind of keep it there. Let's do the 40 units and keep it there. And then I'll come here and rename this tab Red Velvet Cake. So you got that there is Red Velvet Cake. And then here where it says Dessert 1, I can also change that to Red Velvet Cake. I'm going to go over here to the retail and see what it's kind of telling us, that in order for us to make an extra $500 a month, I would need to bake about 14 cakes at $35.10 in order for me to make at least $500 a month extra with my baking. If you want, you can go up here. Let's just say we want to change it and say we want to make $1,000 a month. Well, actually, let me show you this first before I go there. So with the $500 a month, we would also, let me change it here. Change the name over here. Dessert number 1 will now be Red Velvet. Let me make sure. Did I add over here? Let me see. Yes, I'll eventually come back and add some more so I can put the icing. So I didn't put the icing on this one. Again, I'm trying to rush out of here. I was trying to get this together so I could at least just show you something on here. So with that, it's saying that I can do the total units of 14 cakes, which would bring me $500 extra a month. And if you look down here, it says customer database, and that's 71, which means that you would have to have at least 71 people in your customer database that would look over this and see this. And out of that, there would be that, I think it's the 20% rule, that at least 20 out of those people would purchase. So you would want to make sure that you can get your numbers up with your customer database. So each time that you're doing something, you want to ask people to provide their names and their emails and maybe their phone numbers. So keep it in your database as you're coming out with new desserts. You can let them know what you're doing and when you're doing it. And so each of those numbers will change. And let's go here. It will change as we up what we want to do. So I put in here now that I would want to make $1,000 extra a month. And so if you look at it now, you'll see that the total number of units is now 28. So I can make 28 cakes within a month for $35.10, and I can make an extra $1,000 a month. But you also notice that with that number going up as well, that the customer database is now at 142 people that you would need to have in your database, so that you would be able to make sure that you would make your $1,000 a month budget that you would like to make. So if you have other things that you would want to do, because we have it here at 1,000, let's try it and see what it looks like if we put it at 1,500. See what that's looking like. So at 1,500, okay, 1,500, you would now need to make 43 cakes for the month, sold at $35.10. But you also would need to add more customers. So you'll need to be speaking to more people, getting more people's information so that you can have this in your database. And as you start doing this, whether you're here online or you're out and about, you would like to start, you should start thinking about your customer database. I've not seen someone who has put out something that lets you know how many people you would need to have in order to make sure that you can make your required amount of cakes that you would need to sell for the amount that you would like to make a month. Let's go up here one more time before we close out of here. And let me just put on here that I would like to make 5,000 a month, because maybe now I got a car note and some other stuff, and I'm trying to make this happen through these desserts. So again, there is 142 cakes a month that you would need to sell for at least $35.10. And remember, this is just the, and we only have the 35% markup on that as well. I mean, profit margin, not markup, 35% profit margin. Because I work with a coach and she's always been telling me that you need to make at least a 35% profit margin. So again, if you raise it up to 40 or even 50, you'll make more per cake. And that would help you with your meeting your goal, your monthly goal as well. So 712 people you would need to have. And if I didn't get my calculations right on the amount, I'll have it ready for you guys for the next one. But I just wanted to stop by and show you that here is this here, the retail space of that. You'd have this here for this. I don't want to go through wholesale, because if I go through wholesale, you would have to sell it for cheaper than normally, because you would normally sell that to them for, let's just say, a cake for $10-20, and then they'd sell it either by the slice or whatever. So you would normally selling it as wholesale. You're going to make less money selling like that unless you're doing quantities of this, and it would be worth your while to do that. So again, we're here. We've done this retail space. We've done it, and we've gotten that 35% margin, profit margin. So on any of these here, as I changed all of those things, it changes back. So over here, I got it at 40 cakes. And so again, I can change that. And let's just say I wanted to do 50 units with this particular thing. And then it just goes down that it would be now $28 a cake. So go back over here and it changes. So now for that, it was 170 or 142, I believe it was. But now you see, if you're going to sell 178 cakes for $28, you would need to have at least 890 people in your database, your customer database, but you would be guaranteed to make your $5,000 a month doing that. Whichever way you want to do it, then you can change it out again. $5,000, you can even go as far as, 6 or 7, maybe even 10. It depends on what you want to do in a month. And if you're able to do that, you would also make sure that you would make 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 sure that you have enough people helping you so that you can make that $5,000 profit for yourself, and they would be paid because it's already in your calculations here that you've already carved out what you would pay the person who is helping you, and that would be the $600. So out of what you're making a month, you would pay them that $600 or $40 an hour, $40 in hours, because you would only be paying them for those 40 hours, $15 an hour. I don't want to confuse anyone. I'm about to confuse myself. So I just wanted to say that. But at the end of the day, I believe that this would help us as far as making sure that we're making a profit and that we don't continue to leave money on the table when we just guesstimate what we would charge someone without specifically checking out your prices, what it costs you to make these things, so that you can get your money back, not only for your labor and everything, but for what you've put into this. Because we're going out, we're going to be shopping, we're going to be prepping, baking, and icing. And all of those things fit inside of what you'd be doing daily as you're baking and making your desserts. So I hope this was really helpful for someone. And again, I didn't want to spend this much time, but I see we're there. So again, I thank you guys for watching. I will come and do another video, and I will add 2 more desserts until we get down to 10. I'll do it each week and add 2 desserts so that we fill this up, and then it'll give you different numbers for each cake so that you wouldn't just have to make 178 of your red velvets. Those would be included with all 10 desserts. So you kind of go across the board and make that, which would probably make it a little simpler for someone, unless you have just that one dessert that you are seriously thinking about selling only that dessert. So again, this is Shonda. I thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.